Hello everybody, welcome to the Final Nine coverage of the 2017 Tennessee State Disc Golf Championships. My name is Chris Dickerson and I'm here with Dutch Napier, and we'll be giving you some insight on the Final Nine.
Hey, I'm Dutch Napier. I'm here with Chris, and we're getting set to take off on our final nine on hole 1 at Cherokee Park. Right now, Chris has a 3-stroke lead over second place Collin Carter. He's got a 5-stroke lead over me, and then he also has a 7-stroke lead over Grady Shue. Hole 1 here, it's a 260-foot hole, OB long and extremely downhill on the backside of the green. It plays real fast. If you check up early and have that death putt, it's definitely a tough putt to make sure you run that.
Johnson City, Tennessee, with a score of 199, Chris Dickerson.
Woo!
Here we have Chris stepping up, leading the tournament, as I said. Playing the forehand low, skip. Puts it real close to the basket, curls right around the pin.
Second place, 3 strokes off the lead with a score of 202 from Holly Springs.
And next up we have Collin Carter.
Collin Carter.
Woo!
And I think he'll be taking the same line as me with the forehand.
Yeah, he put it real close as well.
Sitting in third, 2 strokes off second, the score of 204 from Owensboro, Kentucky.
I decided to go against the forehand after watching them two put it close. I probably should have went that way. I went with the overstable PA1 here, and just got the nose up on and glided a little bit, and went a little bit further down the hill than I expected. Not quite to the OB line. I was about 15 or 20 feet short of the OB line, but I'm putting uphill here.
North Carolina, Grady.
Yeah, I think the backhand is just, I've tried it a couple times in the past and it's just kind of a weird angle for me. But Grady's going with that backhand line. He hits it a little bit short and gets the skip up to the basket.
Yeah, that uphill putt is a lot harder than what it seems whenever you're looking at it on this video, because that's way uphill from there. And the rest of these guys get to clean up there easy too, as I'm taking the long par here.
Yeah, from my angle over there, it looked like you made it.
Yeah, I had to tell myself that was a good putt. The catching device didn't do its job, so it definitely wasn't my end of the deal. I kind of threw it where it needed to go. It just didn't stay in.
After one, we had 3 twos and a par. On hole 2, it's a 535-foot par 4. It starts off a little downhill, but it comes right back uphill a little over halfway there. And there's only one tree you really got to miss in this fairway. A lot of people are just, for their first shot, is just going to throw as far as you can and see where you end up from there.
Yeah, in recent years past in this tournament, I've turned it over too much and went down the hill, and that's a pretty steep hill, having to come back up. This year, I told myself if I was gonna miss my drive here, it was definitely gonna be on the top side of the hill. It makes it much for an easier upshot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is the first time I've ever played with Grady here, and I did not realize that guy goes boom. He throws far.
Yeah, Grady throws really far.
Here I'm playing the turnover D1 and letting it flex itself back out to get as much distance as I can out of it. Which, after watching Chris and Grady throw, my shot didn't look like it went very far. But that's probably one of the best throws I've had on that hole.
Yeah.
Here I'm just trying to get up and down, give it as much of a run as I can. Still 100 feet away while these guys are putting for twos here.
Get it. You said you were going to hit metal, dude. What was that?
All I could think about in this putt was hitting anything but the chains and getting that roll away on the hillside. I was just fortunate enough to not catch an edge.
Yeah, those are some tough putts whenever you're thinking about what could happen to it afterwards. And have you been closer than that on that hole?
No, I think that's the closest I've ever been. I've never been able to actually get the disc to turn over and get like a longer turnover flight out of it. It's just something weird with that hole with me.
Yeah, like I said, years past I've turned it down the hill way farther than I expected to, just having a chip up shot from about 120. So we're coming up at hole 3. It's a 445 par 4. The bigger throwers can throw the hyzer around the outside, and then there's also a forehand gap that you can take, and then I try to take the straight gap here, trying to maintain, because I knew these guys were putting them close.
On your home, ball!
Chris throws a great shot right there. It just comes up a little bit short. I think he's got like 40 left probably.
Mm-hmm. There's a forehand line you were talking about, Collin trying to take. Looks like he just turns it a little too much.
Yeah, and then not only did I realize he threw far on that hole, Grady puts a mash on this one, and he gets inside the circle, I believe, on his putt here.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the only way I can deuce this hole is if I try to go for this straight gap. And I just missed my line and held on to it, and it kicked directly left into the woods, and I really didn't have much out of here, so I just poked the hole and got a little forehand roller out. It was a tough situation. I've never been over in the left part that bad.
Get in the hole. That's a good shot. Yeah. Good shot. But.
And then here I am again, just scrambling, trying to get it as close as I can, so I don't even have to make a putt at this point. Just take my 4 and losing another stroke to the field for the most part.
Was that a tomahawk with a putter?
Yeah, that was the PA1, the Dutch Night stamp, the one that they put out for me for this year for my tour fundraiser. I like to use that just on the escape shots, and it's the same one that I threw on hole 1 as well. Yeah, hole 3 is a tough hole for me to get there. Hopefully next year I'll try to be able to take that hyzer out and reach it and get a birdie on y'all there.
After 3, Grady takes at least 1 stroke on everybody, and me and Collin take a birdie, and Dutch has a par. And here we skip over to hole 18 for the final 9. They kind of jump around a little bit for maybe what they think is the best 9 holes for this.
It's definitely the best for the spectators, because you can see quite a few of the holes without having to walk a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing H.B. Clark does well.
Yep. And I think Grady said that was a Sirius Scorpius by Millennium that he was throwing there.
What are you throwing here, Chris? Is that the D3 or D2?
This is a D1.
Oh, okay.
Just didn't quite get it over enough, but still got a little bit of a skip out of it at the end.
Yeah. This was the first weekend I've met Collin as well, and he's a great kid and putts real well. I got to play 3 out of my 4 rounds with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right here is it's a 400G F5, and new out of the box, I can just kind of throw it on that turnover and it'll stand up and roll. This one kind of got away from me. I don't know if you can tell, but it runs underneath of 2 of the cars over there and comes back inbounds. And I just had an easy chip shot right here and get my 3 and go.
Collin makes a little jump putt up for his 3.
That was a good comeback putt. You definitely don't want a 3-putt on these kind of greens.
No, I had a longer putt for 3 than I would like to have. That's for sure.
And yeah, this is the 455-foot uphill hole, and we're all putting out for our pars, and Grady still hadn't even putted yet. As you'll see, I think he's got like an 18-footer or something like that. You know, it's hard to compete whenever you don't throw as far as these guys do in some of these courses.
Yeah, I think Cherokee's more geared toward the players that can throw probably further than most.
After hole 18, it's 81 under par. Chris Dickerson, Collin Carter 78, 76 for me, and then 76 for Grady and 74 for me. This is a 485-foot turnover downhill shot, which is really fun to throw as well. I normally throw a fairway driver and just let it turn over and try to let it pan out just a little bit at the end and get all the carry I can out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking about doing going into this hole, but whenever I stepped up there, I wanted a little bit of redemption from the round. So I decided to throw my 400 X2, and I actually got the turn on it this time and was able to let it glide out and finish a little left at the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, from my angle where I was watching it, it looked like it had a good run at the chains there.
Come on.
Yeah, Collin got a good pull on his as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was a destroyer that he threw, maybe.
I think it was.
Yeah. Here I am. This is my 400 F2. It's pretty seasoned. I've been throwing it for 3 years now, so it's got a little bit of turn to it before it comes biting back. But I know exactly what that disc is going to do, so just left myself about a 100-footer and almost canned it. A little bit strong. And Grady set down before it went out of bounds. His was drifting left quite a bit. And he gave it a great run as well. Just found the band. At what point did you think you made that putt right there, Chris?
Oh, I didn't know if I made it the most of the way. Maybe just right there at the end whenever it started hyzering in. I didn't think it really had the height.
Yeah, I really like that hole. That's probably one of my favorite holes on that course. It's just a real fun shot to throw.
Yeah, you've got to throw something overstable enough to where it's not just going to turn down to the right and go over the road down there, OB. And it's got to be, you've got to hit it hard enough to where it'll fly straight and not finish left, OB. After hole 10, we had 2 eagles and 2 birdies. Hole 14 is, I think this is one of the more legitimate par 4s on the course. 635 feet uphill all the way, and then it just fades off quite a bit after the basket.
Yeah, there's a super fast green right here. Your upshot has to be on point. Yeah, Collin didn't quite get this one turned over enough, and he started fading off. That OB road left was trying to suck him in there, but he held up on the hillside.
We can't really see it from here, but the fairway slopes from the right to the left, just slopes down to the road the whole way.
Yeah, and Grady throwing a massive air shot there. It was really great. I decided to go with that same F5 right here and put it on the ground and try to roll it up there as far as I can. And this is probably about the best angle I could have put it on with that hillside too.
Right in the middle. I landed a little shorter than I would like to, and I had to throw an M2, I thought, to get it there, and it seemed like I threw a pretty good shot, but whenever I got up there, it actually rolled down to the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, that's that part of that fast green we were just talking about, but I didn't know it was that close to going in the basket from where we were standing. You can't see that from there.
Yeah, I couldn't see the basket from where I was at.
Yeah. I got a little tree love there, huh? Just stopped me right in my tracks. At this point, I believe Chris looked over at me, and it looked like a great shot from where we were at. And he said, yeah, that's a tough crowd out there, isn't it? Because nobody said anything. Well, we didn't know it hit the tree.
Exactly.
That's a tough putt to run at for Collin right there. And he's pretty frustrated about it. But if he misses everything right there, he goes way down that hill.
Yeah.
And I thought I missed that putt way right. And as you can see, I pointed left for it to go that way, and it just sucked it right into the chains.
Yeah, sometimes you got to tell a disc what to do.
So Chris has a 3-stroke lead over Collin, and he's got a 2-stroke lead over Grady, and Grady's got 2 strokes on me right here. At this point, it's a 360-foot hole. You have a tunnel shot that you can throw it through to get to the green, and if you get to this green, it's just, it's an amazing shot. You'll watch Grady right here throw it almost as good as you can. And they take good care of the grass and everything up there. It's all cut real short, and skips are fast. But I step up here, and at this point, I feel like I had nothing to lose, so I just pushed that same F2 on that flat line and knew it was going to stable up, and put it up inside the circle.
Yeah, I watched both you all hit that gap, and I kind of felt like I needed to get through there, even if I didn't get all the way to the basket.
Yeah, if you hit early on this hole, it can be very ugly. I know last year in the final 9, I kicked and went as far left as you possibly could go, I think, and trying to scramble out there isn't any fun. At least here, you still got that 70, 80-foot looker here.
Mm-hmm.
These are the putts that Collin was making all weekend, and it just seemed like he couldn't get it together. Just these last couple holes, that putter, he felt like it just went away from him. And then Grady hitting high right and chaining out there. I step up and never even thought to make the putt. I just don't even know what I was thinking. You can see the disgust in my face. It's tough whenever you miss those short putts, that's for sure.
Yep. Everybody takes their par on that hole, and we move on to hole 16. 310 foot, downhill the whole way with a slot right finish. A lot of people will, like Grady's doing, will throw a sidearm here.
Yeah, I feel like the sidearm's the play on that hole for the most part. But it seems like I've never gotten the outcome during the rounds. I've always either thrown it short or thrown it long. As you can tell right here, I just wasn't prepared to throw that disc hard. That was my H1, and that thing, if you don't get it flat and push it, it stables up real quick. And I think this is Chris throwing a PA4 or putter or something.
Yep.
But it stayed turned over the whole way, and almost put him on Sports Center. It wasn't far from the basket.
That would have been nice.
And then here comes Collin. He's just chipping his forehand up there and making sure he's got an easy putt. Here I had a little hole that I could try to poke it through. If it goes through, I got a chance to make the putt. at this point, I'd already decided that I qualified for the USDGC, and that was one of my main goals. And there was no way I was catching any of these guys, so I was going to try to be the hero and make the putt through the tree.
Grady, you're so good.
Yeah, as that putt goes in, Chris knows that there's no way that anybody can catch him with just a one hole to go, 3 strokes. He's got the big smile on his face and ready to take it down. Just cleaning up. Yeah, that last putt that I missed was very uncharacteristic because I hadn't missed any putts inside the circle the whole weekend, so I putted real well. But
Yeah, I played with you at least 2 rounds, maybe 3, and I thought you putted really well all weekend, inside and outside the circle.
yeah, I definitely had some bonus putts throughout the weekend that put me in position to be in the final 9. At this point, I was just glad to be a part. This is the final hole, and it's hole 17 on the course. Grady just throws an absolute mash hyzer and puts it up past the basket. Chris, I believe, is going to do the same. Is that the D1 again?
This one's a D2.
Okay. Yeah, it had a little bit more carry on it, and definitely puts you up on the green side. For me, this is one of those distance holes that I've got to do a turnover flex shot to make sure that I can reach the green. Yeah, Collin just sawed his off just a little bit and pushed it down the hill. If you can't really tell on this hole, but it goes downhill pretty extreme all the way down to the bottom and then pushes back up the hill, and the basket sits about 45, 50 feet, or I guess probably more than that, about 60 feet up that hill.
Was that your D1?
Yeah, that was that same D1 that I've been throwing all weekend, the 400 plastic. Here I really didn't even have a good footing or anything. I had to go down on a knee and just keep it close and make sure it don't roll down the hill. And Grady with another nice putt, shooting a 22 on the final 9.
Yeah, he tore it up. I didn't want to give any kind of chance for a roll away or anything like that, so I just turned it upside down and tossed it as close as I could have.
Yeah, and that's how you win tournaments too. It's the best way to win them whenever you can pitch them underneath the basket and step up and throw that last one in. Yeah, I just want to say congratulations again to my teammate Chris Dickerson. Just playing phenomenal all weekend and definitely closing it out whenever it was time to close it out in the final 9.
Thanks, Dutch. It was good playing with you all weekend.
Yeah. As you can see, the love coming in.
That's not as flattering.
And that wraps up the final 9 of the 2017 Tennessee State Disc Golf Championships in Morristown, Tennessee.
Y'all have a good evening.
Thanks, Dutch.
Later, Chris.
You gotta come here tomorrow.